Well, unfortunately, I cannot sell my K1600, not yet anyway. It has a fault with the front shock, where I did notice it had leaked a little bit of oil. The front shock on this, it's like a cantilever. And basically there's the shock absorber, which is electronic, and the shock absorber is leaking. Looking at the forums, this happens because in cold weather, if you take the bike off the centre stand, the force generated by the weight of the bike hitting the ground off the centre stand blows the seals in the shock. It's about £2,500 to replace by BMW, and it ain't no recall for it. Yeah, it's just one of them things. Seemingly it's not even mentioned in the manual about this. It's just something that happens and you've got to live with it, and I'm having to live with it. So what I'm going to do is do it myself, which is going to be an absolute mega job. I think I've seen somewhere it's about 7 hours, cumulative hours, so constantly working at it, 7 hours to replace or strip down, replace, and then rebuild the bike. Yeah, so this is going to put other stuff on the back burner, such as working on the Street Fighter. So my plan is now to get this inside. It's still going to be a mega cost to get the shock absorber. Seemingly you're better off putting aftermarket ones on, which are much better than the stock ones. But again, you're looking at about, probably 800-900 quid for one of them. So I'm going to just see if I can get a second-hand BMW one that functions and just replace that, because at the end of the day I'm selling the bike, and I don't think spending the extra money on putting the new shock in the front will make any difference in price. So look out for the future episode of me replacing the shock absorber on my K1600B. Dilly. Okay, she's in the garage. Front wheels lifted off the floor. I've put it on the centre stand, and to get the front wheel off the floor, which I need to start disassembly, I've put my rope straps around the handlebars there onto the chain, and then just lifted it up with a winch. I've just done it enough so the back wheel is just touching the floor, and I've now got clearance on the front wheel, so much better than using a jack. I can get good access all the way around the bike to start taking the Tupperware off, as it's called, all the plastics, and then start disassembling some of the stuff on the inside to get this shock absorber out, but I don't know when that will be. Dilly. Right, so I'm back. Now before I go on holiday on Friday, I'm going to strip this bike and get this shock absorber off. So I'm going to do the best I can today. At least I'm in the garage in the shade. So ultimately what it involves, just briefly, seat off, all this off, side panels off, both sides, fuel tank off. Where else is there? Take the front wheel off, and I think that would probably do it up to a point. I may not even need to take the front wheel off, to be honest, but I'll work that out when I get to it. I may need to take all the inside cowling off in here, because I may have to take the radiator off so I can drop it a bit. However, the videos that I've seen on the earlier models have done that, but I haven't seen anything on the later models doing that, so I may be okay with this, but I don't know. But it's going to take some doing just to get to that point. So I mean, there is absolutely zillions of these like all over that you can't see stuff. So yeah, I'll use my drill where I can with the fitting on for them, the Torx, and just work my way around and just slowly strip it down, as I say, to get this shock absorber off, which is sitting there. So that's the idea, to get that out. Nightmare. Right, dilly. Whew, getting there. So, seats off. There's some gubbins off here, air filter and everything. Obviously there's the butterfly for the fuel and air. Fuel tanks off. So all that you've got to take off so you can get to that bolt there, because that is what holds on the top of the shock. So it's a canny strip down. To be fair, it hasn't took long. What will be long is putting it all back together, because I mean, you've got fuel tank, you've got the air filter, you've got air ducting, you've got side panels, more side panels, 3 more side panels, you've got the side buttons. It's just it's a lot of gear to take off, like. I'm not finished yet. I may have to strip all this off, as I say, but now it's the case of lift the bike up on me chain where I've set up. I've got to get to and this bolt here, which has just got a plastic cap on, but that's a bolt. It's basically a bush on the bottom where it pivots on. So basically it'll come away from that, and then I think I've got to disconnect these 2 bolts here on the side, which takes this kind of airframe off, if you like, and that'll allow me to swing the wheel forward and hopefully get this bad boy off without dropping the radiator. So I'll try that first, and if I don't get enough clearance, I'll have to continue stripping some more Tupperware off, so I can take all the radiator bolts out and drop the radiator a bit. Dilly. Well, that was an absolute mare of a job, and I think putting it back together is not going to be much easier neither. You just end up taking stuff off and just hope I can put it back together. However, we can see it's out, so I did have to take all this off, drop the radiator, so that could drop down enough to lift it out. And here she is, all that work to get that out. So this is basically what leaks, so you can't take it off the centre stand in the cold weather, because the oil will be nearly frozen and it just blows the seal. And as I say, that's a £2.5 fix at BMW to strip the bike, take this out, put a new one in, because they don't rebuild them, do not heat or open. Yeah, however, found this place in Yorkshire that can rebuild them, so that is happy days. Well, it isn't, but at least I can get that sent away, and hopefully by the time I get back from Greece it's back, and then I've got a couple of days before I go camping to get the thing put back together, and then that's it, the bike can go back up for sale. So it was a job well done, but as I say, it's just going to be a task and a half to put this back together, like, and I'm going to have had you know, some brain fade from being on holiday, which isn't good. But I'll just take my time, persevere, get it back together. Right, that's it. I need a shower and a Guinness. Dilly. Okay, so the journey begins in putting the K1600 back together after quite some time away. See how we get on. So first thing will be to reposition and bolt in the shock absorber. Let's get to it. Dilly. Okay, so here we are back with the K1600. First ride out since I repaired the front shock absorber. Bit of a pain job, as we've seen from the strip down. Putting it back together was just as much a pain, to be honest, but persevered with it, put everything back together, and yeah, out on test ride, the bike performed as it should, so it was definitely a fix. Yeah, the guys at K3 have done a cracking job and saved me a fortune at the same time. It is the only shop that I found that could actually repair these shock absorbers, so it was a bit of a godsend that they could do a rebuild on them. Bearing in mind, you know, it does say on the sticker, do not open or heat. There we go. So yeah, just thought I'd close this video off to say that the bike is up and running again, and yeah, look forward to the next video.